Alright guys, so we're starting another race here at Kansas Motor Speedway here on ZBC. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you're new to this channel, what we're going to do is we're going to basically run short kind of NASCAR Heat 5 races. And I'll narrate over the races so that you guys can learn exactly like what I'm doing and how you can improve your own driving. Some of these races are going to be more educational. Others are going to be wildly entertaining, and some will be a mix of both. Some might be something different. So it just kind of will take to see how it goes. So this one, I'm starting first at Kansas. It's not a very populated lobby. Right off the bat, this is not one of the most competitive lobbies, like the leagues and stuff like that. But we're going to get in there. We're going to talk about the strategies we'll take to win this thing. We're starting first. I would honestly give myself about a 99% chance of winning this race, and I'm just being honest based on, you know, past results and stuff like that. So we're basically just going to try to build a lead as quickly as possible, and I'll let narrator Zach take over, and we'll kind of see, you know, what it takes for someone, you know, having qualified in first to go ahead and keep that lead and not sacrifice it. So green's coming up. Without further ado, we'll get started and take the green. Alright, so we're rolling now at Kansas Motor Speedway, and we try to just rip it towards the bottom because there's more space there, and we can cut it shorter, so we're actually saving quite a bit of room. And look at the gap we already built to second place by doing that. He stayed up top, and now we're going to paint it right on that yellow line, and look at my hands. That is stability at its finest, right? So the more we whip our hands around, the more friction that we generate, and that's not what we want to do. So now, as we get to the later stages of lap 1, we're really just trying to build our rhythm. The guy in second, you can see behind in the rearview mirror, he's taking that low line, but right up against that wall, you can see that we are taking the preferred higher line at Kansas. So if you see me kind of kiss the wall at Kansas, this is something that is done in real life, because you could see right now my right rear quarter panel is what's taking that hit. So it's not really the tires, it's not really damaging the car if you kiss that wall a couple times. It can't be done all race, but kissing that wall at Kansas is not the worst thing, guys. So we're coming into lap 3. We got a substantial gap, as you can look at the rear view mirror, to the guy behind us, but we want to really stretch it out, and the best way to do that is to find a rhythm. Look at the lap time, 30.8. Really a good lap time around Kansas is like a 30.6. That's a very fast lap. So if we can get our laps into 30.6, 30.7, 30.8s on an off lap, even 30.9s, as long as we're within the 30.7, 30.8 region, we're good, guys. So now let's talk about how we get this rhythm. So really the rhythm at Kansas in real life and in a video game is built off of ripping the top. So if you're new to NASCAR, you might not know what that even means as we get a 30.7, but ripping the top is as follows. You let off the gas, and you're really going to try to get that car right on its dead limit on that outside. So look how steady my hands are. Any small flick of that hand right there, and believe me, it's tempting, will send you right up into that wall, and you'll lose at least a couple seconds. So watch my hands, steady, confident, but poised, and right up against that wall, maybe a couple inches, 6 to 12 inches to the right, and you're in the wall 100%, and that's not good. You can touch it, but you just don't want to do that as you know, right there. You see me just brushing up against that wall into the entry just to let me know where that wall is. But it's okay, our car's not, the damage is enabled in this game, but we're not going to get that much damage doing that. So sometimes it's better to feel where that wall is so you can get some rhythm. Ideally not, but it's okay if you've developed like a pretty good rhythm, right? So let's get back into talking about how to get this, right? So you don't want to shoot into the corner and then let off, because once you let off, then all your speed will blow out. So you let off right here. Get that car turning and pick up that throttle as soon as possible. If you look back, I barely kissed that wall. Just like, you know, if I didn't want to kiss someone and they had bad breath, I would just barely touch it. So now we're going to let off early, let that car find its grip, and now we're literally ripping the throttle full and just keeping it nice towards that wall. So now we're coming up on, I think, 5 laps to go here. We're in a really good rhythm, guys. Look at the lap time. That was not the best lap because our tires have worn quite a bit, to 30.9, but at least we're not in the 31s, guys. So we're right up against the wall, starting to really find a good rhythm and come out of turn 2 with a head of steam. So we've built a 5-second lead, a 6-second lead, and a close to 7-second lead on 4th place, and we're really getting into a nice rhythm staying in this top groove, guys, it's not easy, I'm not gonna lie, because you have to full commit. There's no half commits. If you half commit on that top lane, it will not work because your car is gonna wanna go everywhere. It only stays in this little stable window if you full committed and you're on that throttle and you're using stable steering inputs. So as you can see, I've developed this kind of rhythm of letting off early and finding that grip and then picking up the throttle, right? That's very hard to do because it's not something that your body naturally wants to do. Your body naturally wants to start turning and keep in that throttle until you absolutely can't anymore. Maybe use a little bit of brake, but you really have to just let off a little bit early. Find your grip, guys. Find your grip right up towards the top and then full commit. You have to trust that the car is going to stick, otherwise it won't. So now we're coming up on some lap traffic. We touched the wall just a little bit and we got to figure out how to get by this guy. We want to rip the top, but we don't really trust what he's doing, so we wait. He drifts up a little bit and we take advantage. But now we're coming up towards the wall, so you got to let off. Let off the gas and just barely not hit the wall. So that was basically the best we could have done without not hitting the wall. And so I think I did that pretty good. So 2 laps to go. The win is basically sealed for us if we can just do this right. So we're really just going to try, honestly, to build as much of a lead as possible, just to show these guys like who really won the race and how much we won it by. So as you can see, trying to get refocused here, and we're right up against the wall, very, very close. The closer you can get on entry to the wall gives you the best angle that you could possibly take and gives you the most turning radius possible to play with going into that turn. So as you can see, a guy tries to ruin our race there, but we're not going to let it stop us. But we do let it kind of stop us from getting a good angle. So we let off way too much, and as you can see, my hand's not stable in that bottom right side of the screen. So now I'm going to try to make up for that by getting an ultra good run into 3 and 4. But you can see what happens when you get a little bit too aggressive. I'm picking up that throttle early and watch the car drift up. I'm thinking maybe I can get right pinched up alongside that wall, but we overstep it a little bit. And for the first time, the car has been overstepped, and that's the win.
Way to go, driver. That's the win. Nice job.
All right, guys, so pretty consistent race. I ran a bunch of 30.7s. I even got a 30.6 in, which is pretty fast for Kansas, especially if you don't have a draft. I hit the wall right at the end. I'm not going to lie. I hit it right at the end. And did I mean to? No. I was just trying to get like close enough to it, but I guess I kind of lost focus right at the end in the last lap. So what I'll say about that race is that it was really consistent. I felt really good and confident on where that car was, just painting it right on the outside of the wall, like as close to the wall as possible. Not moving, trying not to move the wheel, like just trying to keep it really stable, because if you're keeping it stable, then the tires don't really build up heat. You don't slide around, and you build up as little friction as possible so that you're just ripping the outside. So when you're ripping the outside and building up speed like that on Kansas, that's where you'll get your fastest times. So for me, you know, winning by like 9 seconds in the span of 11 laps, just one, it shows how much better of a setup I had than everyone else. Two, it just shows, you know, I've gotten a lot of reps in on this game, a lot of reps on Kansas. Dude, I know my way around Kansas. So pretty fun race. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys kind of got in a little bit of like why I'm staying up close to the wall and what it takes to do that. It's not easy. It looks easy, but there's a lot of like entry points and things I'm looking at to end up getting. If you actually look at the lap times, I got a 30.6. Second place got a 31.3. So quite a bit faster than everyone when it comes to the actual times. But we're gonna keep that rolling, and more to come. So appreciate you guys for watching. ZBC out.